Today I'm speaking with Leah Sawyer. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
Okay, so she saw a UFO.
I did.
And you were a child.
I was
right?
11.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was what year?
Oh, that's a good question. I was born in 81. It was in June, and I was not yet 12 because I have a summer birthday. So it was 1992.
June 1992.
Yeah. I was not quite 12.
And this was in Indiana.
Yes, it's a small farming community called Rochester, Indiana.
Okay, and do you remember the exact location?
Yeah, it was in the parking lot of the high school, middle school. So the parking lot is in between the two schools. And then there was like, football fields. Okay. And so we were walking across the parking lot, like next to the football field.
What was the name of the school?
It was called Rochester High School.
Rochester High School.
Yep, in Rochester, Indiana.
And you're still there. It's still there.
It's still there. Yes. My parents still live in Rochester, and the school is still there.
Okay.
I'm like fifth generation person from Rochester, Indiana.
Wow.
So like all my family on both sides live in Rochester.
Wow.
Yeah. So shout out to zebras. Go zebras. That's the mascot.
Nice.
The whole town might tune in to this podcast.
Oh,
the town of 6,000 people.
So, and you were with your friend.
Was.
And so you went to the same school, I guess?
Yeah, we were in the same class. We shared a locker.
Okay.
We were locker mates.
Okay. And
I think that's an important detail.
Sure.
Yeah.
And where were you coming from? Where were you going?
So this is a very important detail of what I saw. So it was the last day of 7th grade.
Okay.
And our last period was gym class.
Okay.
And we happened to be, having gym class on the track, on the high school track that goes around the football field.
Okay.
And we've been having our PE or gym class there for the last week.
Okay.
So me and my friend Jessie, her name was Miller, it's now Halterman now. We would walk home from school every single day.
Jessie Miller.
Jessie Miller, yeah.
And she got married.
She got married, yeah. Yeah. So we were, so we would walk home together because our houses were together. And this is a small town. I think I live like 15 blocks away, city blocks, small blocks. So it was the last day of 7th grade. Our last period was outside. And we decided that we were going to bring all of our stuff from our locker the day before home so we could go right from PE class and start walking home and not have to go back into the building. Okay. This was like we wanted to be rebels. We didn't want to go back to the school. We're just going to walk off the football field and start walking home.
Okay, so no one else was around you when you were walking home because everyone else was in the school getting their stuff from their lockers. Right,
so it was the last day of 7th grade. The bell rang. Everybody went back inside. And we just started walking home. So that's when we were walking, so the football field's right by the parking lot. So we were coming out of the football field and walking in between the parking lot and the football field.
Okay, so you're walking along a road.
It was a sidewalk.
Okay.
In between the parking lot and the football field.
Do you know which cardinal direction it was?
So I was probably walking that way, which is east. I was walking east. Sorry.
Okay. Are you sure?
No.
And how was the weather that day?
It was clear. It was like clouds, but not cloudy. It just had it was just beautiful bright sky with some puffy clouds. It was very clear and sunny. And I don't know if you've ever been to Indiana, but where I grew up in Indiana, it's very flat. Okay. So when you drive or when you're walking or doing anything, it's just sky because there's not a lot of large obstructions.
Okay.
Everything's pretty small. A couple stories high, and the land is very flat. So if you're driving on a highway in Indiana, in northern Indiana especially, which is where I'm from, it's just sky is all you see.
So you're walking, and is the school Are there like, what's around the school? Are there houses right adjacent to it? Or
Yeah,
like,
there's some houses adjacent.
okay, but just like short 1 or 2 story houses.
Yeah.
And so you're walking maybe east. We're not positive. And then what happens?
So we're walking together, just talking, kind of patting ourselves on the back for leaving right after the bell, being like, haha, we're not back at the school like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And from the corner of my eye, so if I'm walking east, which I'm pretty sure I was, from the corner of my eye, so that would be south, I saw a glimmer. And I was like, you know, like when you see something out of the corner of your eye, you kind of are like, you kind of almost flinch, but you don't like necessarily like, it's just like you just kind of like, oh, what is that, you know?
Yeah.
And so I saw like a glimmer. It was like a definite like glimmer.
Okay.
And I was like, looked, and the glimmer was gone. Mm. And then an object appeared in the same general direction, but closer than the glimmer.
Okay.
And it was silver and like almost like a liquid metal looking.
Kind of like, what's that metal that's super metallic?
Silver? I don't know.
Yeah, silver or like mercury.
Okay, yeah, like a drop of mercury.
Yeah.
That's like a really good way to describe it. Okay. Yeah.
But shaped like, you said, kind of like a Easter egg or something.
Well, like, I mean, it was kind of like an oval but 3D. So like, you know, an egg, but you know how eggs are kind of fatter on the bottom and then more,
yeah.
You know, but yeah, like an oval, like a 3D oval. What is that? Like a sphere, but not a sphere, because it wasn't like a sphere, because spheres are like perfectly shaped. It was just like more like an oblong, but it was 3-dimensional.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you call that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like a bean, but beans have, you know, indentations and different kind of irregularities. Yeah. And it seemed like it was like a uniform, like kind of a sphere, but just kind of, you know, long, a little bit longer, but not like a plate. You know, I wouldn't call it a saucer. I want it.
So first you saw a glimmer. And then it was closer.
Closer, yeah.
How much closer?
Like, I would say like the distance of like, you know, when you see a plane in the air and you recognize that it's a plane because it's daylight and you see the shape of the plane and you're like, that's a plane.
Yeah.
It was like that close.
Okay.
Like I could tell what it was and the shape of it and the color of it, but it was like far away, you know, like it was in the distance. So I saw the glimmer, I looked, nothing. I saw this object closer, but not that close. And then nothing, it disappeared. And I was like, huh. And then like not even a second later, it appeared again, but it was much, much closer this time. And I got a much better look at what it looked like. And it was like maybe 15, 20 feet away from me.
Wow.
It was very close, and it was, so I used to play basketball, so I know what 15 feet is. It's like it's like the distance between the free throw line and the basket. Okay. So I remember, you know, when that's kind of close to the distance that I thought it was at.
Wow. And so how big was it?
It was not that big. It was like maybe the size of a car, sedan.
Wow.
Like it wasn't like ginormous. Like it didn't, I mean, as I was saying earlier, the sky is very much the main thing that you see in Indiana.
Okay.
So it was like not that big, like compared to like the breadth of the sky, even though it was close. Mm-hmm. It was probably, the size of a sedan, maybe a little bit larger, maybe a little bit smaller, because you don't have anything to compare it to because the sky in Indiana is so big.
Okay.
So it's not like there's like a building next to me that I was like, oh, it's about the size of this building, or, you know, like there's nothing to compare it to the size. Wow. But it seemed like it was maybe the size of like not the size of like a school bus, like not the size of a small, you know, SUV Beetle. It was like a sedan size object. And
was it like 15 feet like directly above you, or 15 feet like diagonally?
Diagonally. So like if I was walking east and I saw the glimmer here, I looked, it was closer, you know, but in the distance. So south there, and then another second later, it was like 15 feet above me, but like to the side, like it was like angled. It wasn't like above me, hovering above me. It was like this.
Still kind of towards the south.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just like kind of like directly came to you along a straight trajectory. And
yes.
Okay.
I think that's probably important. Yes, it came to me on a straight trajectory. Yes.
And for how long did you see it there, 15 feet away?
Like a millisecond, like just like a second, like a snap of a finger. So when I saw the glimmer, that's when I turned to notice. Then I saw it, and it was like I didn't see anything. So glimmer, turn to see what I saw. Nothing, but I saw the glimmer in the corner of my eye. So that's why I turned, and then I saw an object, and it was like snap. There it was, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And then it was closer to me, like 15, 20 feet away from me, and it was like snap, and then it was gone.
About the same time each time? Okay, and so there wasn't even any time to even like really inspect the surface that closely or anything?
No, it just was like, hey. It was like, hey. And then that was it.
Did it feel like it was saying hi to you?
It didn't feel like, I didn't feel any emotional connection to it at all.
Okay.
I just was like, what is that? It was more curiosity, shock, like wonderment, but it wasn't like dread or fear, and it wasn't like happy or like elated. It was more like, what the F was that? What was that? That was crazy. What did I just see? Like, that was nuts.
And so, and then no one was around you except your friend when this happened? Like...
Right. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, that's something I've never seen before. And that was kind of intense because it's like, usually when you see something in the corner of your eye and you turn to look, you recognize it right away.
Right.
Or you're like, oh, I didn't see anything. That was like, the sun in my eye or something like that. So when you turn to look, when you see something on the corner of your eye, and then you see something appear and reappear and appear again, as something that you've never recognized as something in your life, your reaction is like, what was that? So as soon as that happened, I turned to my friend and I was like, did you see that? Because that was so unusual and so not what I was expecting that I wanted to see if she saw it too.
Right.
Not necessarily because I thought I didn't see it, because I knew what I saw, but to see if she saw it too, because that was incredible and I want to talk about it.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm like hallucinating. Oh, that's something that I just, saw. It was like, did you see that? And I think that's what we both like turned to each other and were like, did you see that? Because I think we both had the same kind of reaction at the same time. And then,
So she was kind of chill about it too. She wasn't scared, or how did she feel?
She wasn't scared. We were basically, we were good friends at the time, but we definitely weren't like freaking out, like, oh my God, we're gonna die. And we were both basically like, did you see that? What did you see?
Okay.
Like, oh, did you see that? Yeah, what did you see? And then we kind of like confirmed that she saw the same thing that I saw. Because it was so unusual and so fast and so intense. And then, intense, like, usually things don't fly at you. In that same trajectory.
Right.
Like moving like that, right? So it wasn't scary, like, I didn't think I was going to die and it was going to run into me.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I was a little slow. But it was just like, what did you see? Yes, we saw the same thing. And then as soon as we both confirmed that, yes, we both saw it. Yes, we both saw this same thing. I remember, and it wasn't really a particularly long conversation. It was like, did you see this? Yes, I saw it. It was just kind of like confirming. And then we immediately were like, who else saw it? Because we wanted to confirm with as many people as possible. Because that was crazy, right?
Yes.
And I remember us looking around and trying to find anyone in the parking lot who saw exactly what we saw. And there was no one.
No cars, no nothing.
There was cars. So we were walking away from, like, we were walking in between the parking lot and the football field, and we were kind of at the end of that like sidewalk, and like we looked and there was cars everywhere. It was a parking lot.
Okay.
And the buses were even lined up.
Yeah, okay.
But there was no people close to us. So maybe somebody was in their car and saw it. Maybe somebody was on the bus and saw it. Maybe there was like a teacher somewhere that we couldn't see that saw it. But we were like, looking around in our immediate vicinity to see if we saw like, you know, people, and there was like no one. And everybody had gone in the school because of Bell Ram, and everybody was like, you know, ending the day of the year. Now it wasn't big. I saw it fall far away, and then it was like very close to us and it was gone. So I mean, I don't think it didn't really occur to us to like go hunting, like walk again across the parking lot and see if we could find anybody.
Okay.
Because it was pretty close to us and then it was gone.
Yeah.
So we were kind of just like, do we see anybody on the football field? Do we see anybody in the parking lot? Do we see anybody in our close vicinity that we could like go up to?
And
there wasn't anyone.
And then did you just go about your way and that was it?
Yeah, well, we talked about it, I think, the whole entire way home.
Okay.
And we kind of like fantasized what it could have been. And then, you know, we walked to my house, which is the closer house out of the two of us, and we told my mother.
What did she think?
She thought that we were stupid. I mean, I don't remember her reaction. I don't think she necessarily was like, oh, you girls are making stuff up. But I don't think she necessarily was like that interested either. And then after we told my mom, now I'm remembering, we went to the library because we'd always go to the library because we were kind of like, I was a nerd. I think she was just my friend and would, you know, come to the library with me. Mm-hmm. And we went to the library after we told my mom and we started looking up like UFO stuff.
Okay, so
but we couldn't really find anything because it's like a small library and there was not a whole lot on like, you know, aliens and stuff that were like factual. But yeah, right. We did go to the library and we tried to like find stuff.
Okay, so you immediately you thought it was a UFO?
Yeah, because not necessarily because we thought it was aliens, but because we didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have any other like immediate thoughts about what it might be?
So obviously, like we thought it was aliens, because it's like, okay, that was unidentifiable. So like I remember going to the library and we were looking up aliens and unidentified objects, which aren't necessarily the same thing.
Right.
A UFO is something unidentified. Check. We saw something unidentified. Check. And usually that's linked to aliens. But did I see an alien? No. Okay. No. So we looked up those kind of things. But I was like, we definitely were like, was that an alien? Was it not? Was that maybe humans in the future, like coming to visit? But really in my mind, and probably in her mind, but obviously I don't know what she really thought, those were like the only two things it could be.
Okay. And so, and when you saw it, there were no temperature changes, wind, or any kind of like sound,
no
nothing.
Sound, not even a swoosh.
And the surface was like perfectly smooth, like you couldn't see any like dimples or like imperfections or anything. And
it was really sunny out, but yeah, and I think I would have saw something. I think I would have saw, yeah, couldn't tell, like I didn't see anything else besides, it was just perfectly like, it was a solid, but it looked like a liquid metallic material. Like mercury is a very good analogy of what it looked like.
But it looked like it was there, like the lighting. It didn't seem like it was just like photoshopped into your line of sight. Like it really, it looked like it belonged in the environment and it really was there.
Yeah, and that's an interesting question because I mean, like we had so much space. I mean, I'm in the middle of a parking lot in the middle of Indiana, and so it's all you literally see is like your immediate ground and sky. And like I didn't notice, and it happened really fast, and of course I was 11, so it was a very long time ago. But like I didn't see a shadow that it casted or anything like that. Okay. Which is interesting. And maybe there was one and I didn't notice it and I didn't take note of it because I was too busy thinking of this crazy like metallic looking object like coming towards me, but not in a aggressive way, in a, you know, a skipping stone kind of way. But I don't remember it casting a shadow, you know, across the football field or anything like that. But it was a smaller, I mean, it was like a sedan size, so I don't know.
And so did it change your view on like UFOs and aliens and that kind of a thing since it happened?
So I don't think I gave it too much thought before this event happened because I was, in 7th grade. I was 11 years old. But it definitely, and I definitely don't necessarily, I've always believed because of that happened that there's aliens or life on other planets or we figured out how to time travel. I've always known that to be fact because I had that experience and I experienced that. But it's not something that I bring it up in a very factual way because to me it is fact. And then to bring it into what do I think about spirituality and the meaning of life, I still don't know.
Yeah.
It's yes, it's happened, but it's not okay, I know that we're not alone in the universe and that's changed my perspectives of God and the purpose of what. I still don't know any of that stuff.
Right, because it's not like they came out of the UFO and gave you information.
Yeah,
it was just there.
Yeah, it was there. So I always, so now that people are starting to believe that more, that's not crazy, and the government's coming out with unidentified objects and documents. When that first started happening, I was yeah, it's about time.
Wow.
Because I saw something very similar when I was 11. So but I don't think it's changed. Maybe it's made me a more open-minded person, but who knows? I was 11. I don't know what person I would have become if I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You seem very comfortable just speaking about this. Is there anyone in your life that you wouldn't want to tell about this or?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not ashamed, and I don't think I'm weird or crazy because it's just, to me, it's a fact that I saw it. If somebody gave me a lie detector test right now and I told this story, the line would be to me, it's fact.
Have you spoken to anyone else who has also seen a UFO?
So, no, I've never found anybody. And then sometimes I do think about it and I look it up online, and it's never exactly the experience I've had. People talk about their experiences being at night and there being lights or seeing the object for a long period of time at night.
Okay.
So when people say that they saw a UFO at night, I'm that could be really anything.
That's true.
So not that I'm saying that I'm lying or but it's just not my experience, right? So I don't really relate to that person, but I have looked it up online, every once in a while in the 30 plus years since I've seen it. And there are a few people that do have daytime experiences.
Okay.
And there's one that's similar to mine, but it stayed for a long period of time.
Ooh.
So I have thought periodically to reach out to that person who actually did gathered up resources, data and the internet about it.
Was it in Indiana?
Mm-mm. It was North Dakota or South Dakota or something like that.
Okay.
So this is where my high school is. In the small part in Indiana. Indiana's right under the Michigan Lake, what looks like a giant finger. And so if I zoom in to my high school, so I was on this road. This is the football field. This is the parking lot. So I'll zoom in a little bit more. We were walking on Rochester High School Drive. There's a sidewalk. We weren't walking on the road, but there's a sidewalk that runs along it. This is north, this is south, this is west, and I was walking east. And I saw it over the football field a little bit.
So it came from the north?
Yeah, it came from the north.
The northwest or directly north?
Directly north.
Interesting.
Yeah, directly north, yeah.
Are there any airports
there is we do have a small airport. It's over here. So this is the high school. This is a small airport this way.
So that's east of.
But this is the runway. You can kind of see it, right?
Yeah.
They take off going this direction.
Ooh.
And they come in going that direction. This is the landing strip, right here.